Is everybody having fun and making lots of connections so far, I hope?
Yes.
Yay! It is with great honor I introduce our next speaker, Patti Mercer, who is Mrs. South Carolina. I had the pleasure of meeting Patti a few months ago through Louise Summey at a party she had at her home, and Wendy and I immediately were taken with her and her story, and I immediately got her on the front cover of my magazine. And I think she's been in one of the covers that you've seen floating around up on the screen, and just an amazing story, an amazing woman. And her topic is one, where is Patti? Where did she go?
Picking out jewelry.
She's picking out jewelry. And I have to be honest, your topic has totally inspired me on GEM, Generate, Elevate, and Motivate. And we have in our audience today, I'm very blessed that the president of BPW North Carolina, Micah Hunter, is here. I don't see, where is she? There she is. And I'm upcoming to that position in a couple of years, and all the presidents of BPW have a theme. So with your permission, I'm stealing your theme to be my theme when I am president in 2 years of BPW.
I would be honored.
And with that, I would like to call up Patti Mercer.
You know, it's really funny. First of all, it was a process in coming up with 3 words that represented who I am, what I hope to do, and what I felt would be inspiring and relatable to everyone. So that means so much to me. Absolutely. Take it and go.
Thank you.
Enjoy. That's what we're all about, is spreading positive impact in a world that's changing, but definitely the role of women is huge. It's kind of like a magnet that used to be on my grandmother's refrigerator. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So true. Thank you very much for being here today. Mimi, thank you. Wendy, thank you. As I get into more of what I'm sharing, there's motivators in my life in this room. And I'll get into that. But the funniest thing is, Louise had a little Christmas gathering in her home. And I pulled my husband, who sometimes doesn't like to go with me, and it turned out to be kind of an intimate gathering. So he's like, oh, that's a big party, Patti. But you never know, never underestimate the power of one conversation. As I was talking with Wendy and Mimi started looking back and forth at each other. And I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, what are you doing? March 20th. And before I knew it, we all pulled out our smartphones, and we were looking at the dates, and the decision was made. I have never thought about something as much as I have this day, perhaps, because usually I'm a kind of fly by the seat of my pants, wearing a dress today. That might be a clue that I'm prepared. But Louise knows I do a lot with her company, New Day Productions, and I don't know, we all have different gifts. And I think sometimes my gift is just being able to be on the spot. But as I've matured and gotten older, I realized that you get out of life what you put into it, and there is definitely a skill to preparing. So I'm actually prepared with some things I'd like to share with you, and some takeaway that hopefully will inspire you. First of all, gem. It's a noun. It's a precious stone. It's anything or anyone that is thought to be especially good. It's amazing because when we get together, there's an opportunity to elevate each other. And, elevating someone can be simply complimenting their hair or complimenting something that they've thought of. It's just a way to acknowledge that you've seen and you notice and you appreciate. It makes us all want to be better versions of ourselves. So this is an honor to be in the company of you girls, ladies, women, sexy hot things. Okay, to give you some background of who I am and how I became this pageant Patti, which is really funny because I'm really not a pageant Patti, it's just that's my name. Then I happen to have a title of a pageant. But anyway, I've had the honor of representing South Carolina twice. Once in 2006 as Mrs. United States, and one in 2008 as Mrs. International. And much to my surprise, in Chicago at International, I placed second runner-up. And it was wild because I looked at the women in the company I was keeping, and the crown became irrelevant to the respect that I felt from all of them. When they announced the top 10, this group of women, the 40, like the 42 that didn't make top 10, rather than huffing and puffing back to their dressing rooms, I felt like Cinderella when the mice and the birds are flying around and just getting her ready, because they were around me, supporting me, encouraging me, get out there, do it. And that was the crown. At that moment, whether I won or not, which I was kind of scared when I started calling out names. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But it was just that moment of validation. But let's back up a little bit. In 2005, my life was so different compared to where things are today. Our family was in rescue mode, and I was the self-appointed sergeant charged with the mission to save our youngest son from the isolating world of autism. Mitchell was diagnosed at 2 years old during his well-child checkup on September 12th, and it also happened to be his birthday. Woo-hoo! It was that moment where life changes, when my husband thought, oh, we've got cause to be concerned, and I'm like, no, he's a boy, he's a late bloomer, it's all good. And needless to say, the doctor agreed with my husband that there was cause to be concerned. So life turned into living out loud. Everything was in an effort to bring Mitchell into a curiosity that most children have naturally. In fact, one of the things that the doctor was concerned about was when he came in the room, Mitchell showed no interest. It was not even of interest to Mitchell to acknowledge that anything had changed in the room. Mitchell was just content, which I thought was awesome as a third child. Inside my head, all I heard was a ticking timer, like hurry, 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 we gotta get in the game fast. And this voice that said, don't give up. I grew up, rather than always just being a yes person, I began to trust my own intuition. During Mitchell's young life, we moved from Pennsylvania to New Jersey to Texas, and when Mitchell was almost 3 years old, we moved back to my native home, which is Fort Mill, South Carolina. The mission continued, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and every second mattered. I often wore stickers on my nose to prompt Mitchell to just look at my face. Even though I couldn't always pinpoint what it was, and there were so many symptoms of autism that I could read about and go, yeah, this applies. No, this doesn't apply. So depending on how strong I felt for the day, I would either say yay or nay. But one thing I did know was that when Mitchell looked at me, when he really looked at me, there was something that was different than the other moments. So when it came to eye contact and that being challenging for a child with autism, that I had to own. So I would wear these stickers on my nose. And that's okay, even if you wear them to the store, because many times I kind of forgot that I had these stickers on my nose. And it was, people are kind because they didn't point it out to me. It would be after I got home from the store, putting up the groceries, that I would happen to glance at myself in the mirror, only to find like a sticker on my nose. So, I like to think that maybe they just sensed that I was one of those mothers that just had other things to worry about than public humiliation.